The Islamic empires were tremendous achievements, knitting together groups of people spread across thousands of miles and hundreds of languages. These vast melting pots witnessed the trend of cultural diffusion, which we will talk about in this lecture. As your book says, when one culture interacts with another, there tends to be an exchange of ideas, technologies, foods, and ways of life. Successful cultures can blend these different ideas and parts of culture into something new and healthy. One of the great strengths of the Islamic empires was their ability to adapt to new situations. Let's take a brief look at a map of the world. So we can see here that the areas of the Islamic empires bridge a significant part of the Afro-Eurasian continent. We've already discussed how Muslim traders maintained sea routes and roads, allowing goods and other ideas to flow from China in the east to the northern parts of Europe in the west. Now, cultures blend in 5 ways: expansion, hierarchy, relocation, contiguous, or stimulus. So expansion and diffusion occurs when one group of people conquers another and brings their culture along with them. We can see this clearly in the way that the Islamic empires were able to conquer so much territory. Now, these conquering groups bring their culture to new areas, and often the conquering people establish a new elite in the regions that they had defeated. As a result, the tastes and cultures of the elite trickle down and affect the rest of the culture. This is known as hierarchical blending. We can see this example in how many peoples worldwide wanted to learn English following World War II, when America was the world's dominant superpower. Now, when a group of people leave their native land and culture and move to a new place, they bring that culture with them. This is known as relocation blending. Think of how each culture that has immigrated to the United States has brought essential parts of their own culture. Now, we also often see that cultures that exist physically near each other share a lot of traits. This is known as contiguous blending. Think about how similar the United States and Canada are. It's easy for the Canadian things to become popular in the United States and for something in the United States to become popular in Canada, because the two countries are next to each other. The final way a culture can blend is called stimulus blending. Stimulus blending happens when somebody is inspired by something in another culture and then uses that inspiration in their own way. Hip-hop culture is a great example. It can be found in all different ways and parts of the world, and people have incorporated hip-hop rhythms but use their own rhyme schemes and languages, but are inspired by those sounds that originated from New York City. Now, your task will be to look at how these Islamic cultures blended and mixed different parts of different cultures. Some of you will see examples in the styles of architecture in religious buildings, like these mosques here. Here you can see on the right, the mosque is in Istanbul, Turkey, and compare that to the mosque found in Timbuktu. The materials are different, but there are a lot of similarities in the shapes and in the purposes of the way that the buildings are used. Or you can look at something like these porcelain tiles. Now, the one on the right is from Topkapi Palace in Istanbul. And you can see how similar it is to the Chinese porcelain tiles shown on the left of this slide. And you're going to have an opportunity to look for even more things as you delve deeper into this blending of cultures. So I want you to pay attention to what is blending and think about how or why these particular traits came from one culture and moved into the next. Good luck on your work.